everyone to Study Melbourne and Career Catalyst webinar on leveling up your career with LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn has been an amazing platform so far. And also, we've got our lovely guest and expert speaker, Preeti, from there to share her journey. Before we begin, let me introduce myself. I am Namata. I am a talent specialist at Intern Match and also a career coach. Many of you must have seen me previously either in in-person webinars, in-person workshops, or webinars that we've done previously. And as I said, I have some really familiar names that I recently met as of last week. So it's good to have familiar names again. Thank you all for joining in. It would be best if we could connect on LinkedIn. So today's webinar is all about LinkedIn and how we can leverage that platform for our career growth. So the QR code for my profile is on the screen. If you just scan the QR code and connect with me, send me a message as well, so that I know that you've attended today's webinar. That would be a great start for you there. Before I begin, I'll just acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which I'm presenting from today, and I also pay my respects to their elders past and present. I extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people present here today. Alrighty. Just a brief background about Study Melbourne and the Career Catalyst program that Intern Match has been running. This is a program exclusively with variety of services, be it in-person workshops or webinars on a variety of topics, spanning from your resume sessions to preparing you for an interview, getting your LinkedIn set up, or just having some networking events as well. So we've been having a lot of events so far, and there are a few very exciting ones coming up in the next few months. I will talk about those events towards the end of our session. Really exciting ones, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, I hope you all here get a chance to leverage the services Study Melbourne has for you. Career Catalyst is just one of the programs. They run a variety of programs for international students to support your time in Melbourne as an international student. So it's going to be really helpful. I remember when I came as an international student here, this organization was very helpful for me to settle down and also, focus and grow in my career. So it's a really big, amazing program here. I'll just welcome our guest speaker, the Preeti. She's a talent solution consultant at LinkedIn. So welcome, Preeti, and thanks for coming in for our webinar today. Preeti, you're on mute.
So thank you so much for having me. Sorry, I was on mute as usual. And there we begin. So
Awesome. Preeti, would you like to just introduce yourself and share a bit about your journey?
absolutely. So I'm of Indian origin. So I grew up in India, started working there, and I grew up in a military household. So father was a doctor in the army. So never stayed in one place for more than 2-3 years. You have a very nomadic life. So I went to like 9 schools. If you ask me which city I belong to, I cannot answer that because 2 years here, 3 years there, 2 years another one. So I've been very nomadic growing up. And then later on, after working in India for some time, I moved to Los Angeles, worked in the US for a bit, then moved to Sydney for 1 year. Then I discovered that Melbourne has colder weather, and I'm one of those weird people who like cold weather. So yes, here I am now in Melbourne, settled here.
Beautiful, amazing. Preeti, and for all of us here, I mean, it's a very interesting journey to see that, you've moved around different places and changed your schools and then universities. Preeti, I come from a defense background myself. My parents were in the Air Force, so I completely understand the changing of locations and having to answer, where are you from? That's a difficult answer to always come
Yes.
up to. Awesome. But it's always a great conversation starter. So everyone here listening in, if you feel like you've got an interesting journey so far, you could always share something about your either personal journey or how you landed up in Melbourne, and you know what sort of things you're doing. And it's always a great sort of icebreaker questions and conversation starter. So for all those who would love to connect with Preeti here, that's her QR code for her LinkedIn. Do connect with us and stay connected on our LinkedIn journey. Alrighty, let's now talk about LinkedIn and what's the point of having a profile. I'm sure many of us who are here already have accounts and are quite active. If you've got any questions, guys, just put it on the Q&A section. I've also opened the chat box for everyone, so you can put your questions or comments in the chat box. We will be having a live, sort of Q&A towards the end of it. So if you've got any questions coming up, just keep putting it on there. I'll be asking Preeti after each topic is discussed. We'll go through some questions, and then towards the end also, if there's something from all of you here, we'll go through that too. And just to remember, the session is being recorded, so you will receive the recording of the session a day or two after the webinar is done. Awesome. So why do you think the point of being on LinkedIn is? Because it is an amazing, powerful tool. Of course, it's a sort of a proof point for your experience, where all you worked and studied so far. Definitely helps you in your job hunting or job application process, getting potential, connecting with potential employers, also connecting with like-minded people, making friendships. I can't tell you how many friends I've made just by connecting on LinkedIn. I think that's amazing. You obviously go onto LinkedIn for professional networks, but you end up making friends. So that's a great networking tool as well. You yourself can get headhunted. Now, for those who don't understand headhunted, it's about how recruiters looking for potential candidates for their roles look out for profiles on LinkedIn. So if they feel they come across your profile and you've got some skill sets that match their job requirements, they contact you. So again, it's a great way to have your online resume ready. Of course, being part of a community, following people, big, I think, inspiring people or celebrities that, you look up to. Also, if you're in a journey of becoming an entrepreneur or starting your business or just investing yourself in something new, that's also a great platform to showcase yourself. So all in all, LinkedIn is a very big, powerful tool that Australia loves right now. Everyone's on it, especially international students, graduates, and job seekers. If you're out there looking for new opportunities or working on your personal brand to present yourself on how you are, I think it's a beautiful platform. Today, what we're going to discuss, we're going to focus on three main areas. One is actually getting your LinkedIn ready. So how you can set up your LinkedIn profile. We'll also have some tips from Preeti here. And we'll then look into building a network, how you can actually build your network, connect with people, sort of grow your net worth on the platform. And then towards the end, we'll look at one of the most important aspects of LinkedIn for the international students here, which is the job searching, and how you can leverage this platform as an international student or as a graduate to look for potential job opportunities. And again, we'll have some tips from Preeti as well. So, all right, let's get into your topic one. These are the most essential parts that you must focus on when it comes to your profile. And if you want to take a screenshot of these slides, you may, but we will be sharing everything in an email after this. So having a banner and a profile picture is very important. Banner is what is behind your profile picture. Having a headline is important. Of course, you would want to express, to be addressed in a certain way when someone comes to your LinkedIn profile. Having a bit about summary or the about section of explaining who you are. and most certainly sharing your work experience and education. And by work experience, I don't mean professional experiences that you worked. It can be any sort of work experience that adds value to your professional journey. So here, we'll go step by step onto how you can sort of build your profile. First thing first, sign up for a profile. If you're not on LinkedIn, download it, install it on your phone or on your system. You just have to log in, and then you just go through the step-by-step process. It's quite a simple one. Then you come to editing your profile. So how do you navigate on the profile? Again, guys, if you've got your accounts on Facebook, on Instagram, or on any other platform, it's going to be fairly simple for you to get started on LinkedIn. But yeah, when you do want to edit, look at the pencil, as we call it, pencil or pen option. So that's the edit option on each of the sections on LinkedIn. You get to edit it. When it comes to editing, now there are questions that a lot of people ask. We want it to be anonymous. We don't want it to be published. If we are updating our work section or our education, I don't want it to go as a post. If you don't want to be that open as yet when you're updating your profile, you can just go on to the settings again on that pencil area. LinkedIn will ask you if if you want to post it as public or not. You can just say no. That way you won't be publicly advertising it that, hey, I've joined my work here or there. So you need not worry about that. You don't have to be public at the go. You can sort of be open as and when you would like to. So these are the basics of it. But here is the main area of your banner, your headline, and picture, because mind you, this is the first thing anyone that comes onto your LinkedIn profile would see. So of course they first look at your profile picture. And what you're seeing right now is my very dear colleague, Ellen. Some of you might have seen her and met her in our last few sessions. So I've taken her LinkedIn profile as an example here. So have a professional profile, and if you love smiling, please show your smile on the photo, because smile always attracts people, and you get a great first impression. Have a suitable banner as well. So if you go onto my LinkedIn profile, you would see my banner is of Intern Match, because that's where I work at and this is what we represent. It need not be the place of work. It could be anything that resonates with you. If you're a software developer, or you are studying software development or web development, you could put some sort of coding design on your banner. If you're in the marketing industry, I would suggest making up your own banner, whatever creative, thoughts come to your mind. If you're a data person, have some data in the background, that sort of image. And I'll show you where you can get ready-made banners as well. But apart from your photo and the banner, the next very important aspect is your headline. How would you want people to recognize you as? So for Ellen here, she is, advertising herself or branding herself as the Events and Partnership Manager, who is passionate about innovation, creativity, and community impact. So she's got three big adjectives here about herself and what she's interested in, as well as her, professional role. Similarly, if you'd like to go on to my profile, I've got a few different headlines for myself. I'm a talent specialist, but I'm also a career coach. I'm also a public speaking enthusiast, and I'm also a trainer. So that's me covering all my major aspects of my profession and my sort of passion as well. So you can definitely add as much as you can, but you don't have to have paragraphs there. Ideally, 2 lines is more than enough for you to sort of brand yourself on the LinkedIn profile. Now here, I hope you have explored Canva, but if you haven't, it's another really great platform. It's a free tool. It's a design tool which has ready-made templates available either for your resume or for your uni presentations or for invites. It's as simple as that. Please have a look at Canva if you've not yet used. We've also made our sort of deck on Canva. We love using it. But yeah, have a look at there. You can just put LinkedIn background photo and then you'll get ready-made templates. Whichever works best for you, you can add that in. But if you want to be a little more creative, you can use one of the templates here and twerk it around to what maybe suits best for your professional journey. So yeah, it definitely helps you sort of work on your creative tool skills as well when it comes to LinkedIn setup. But yeah, it's a great platform there. So have a look at that. But here, as I said about headline, it could either be your current role, it could be your current company, at the current company, or if you're studying, you could be like, I'm studying Bachelor of Commerce with the University of Melbourne. And again, you can highlight your skills there as well. So before I started working here and while I was studying, I was doing my master's. So I wrote, I'm a master's student at the University of Melbourne, human resource management, talent development. That's it. It was very basic at that time. But as in when you start working, growing in your professional career as well, you'll get to understand what you resonate more with as well. So say for example, if someone really looks at your headline and be like, you've studied here, or you work with talent, they might just come and interact with you or just connect with you to see your journey. So have a think about what suits you well. And if you do have questions, of course, put it here or connect with us on LinkedIn and we can sort of brainstorm and see what suits your profile the best as well. Um, as I said, having a profile photo is the key element because it brings out life to your digital resume. I call LinkedIn a digital resume apart from all the posting and commenting. It's your professional journey that's being expressed online. So definitely it helps you create a first impression and put a name to your put a face to your name, sorry. Have a professional one, I would say. And if you don't have a LinkedIn headshot or a professional photo, come to our next event. We are having next event like the Confident Communicator next week at the Study Melbourne Hub. It's the renovated hub. I'll talk more about it at the end, but we will be taking free headshots for anyone who's coming in there, and you will receive them towards the end of the event. So if not for the workshop, come for the food, come for getting your free LinkedIn photo. I will also get one for myself. So yeah, it's a great opportunity. Be there. Alrighty. Bonus, something that has been there around for a while now, I would say, is recording your name. If you've got a complicated name, or you feel that you would need someone, you want the right pronunciation for your name, just record it and see how it takes. Update it on your mobile. It takes about 10 seconds. And hold it closer to your mouth, and you can just record it and pronounce your name, and makes it easier for others to pronounce as well, because I know how differently my name has been pronounced by different people. So it could be a great conversation starter as well. Now, summary here is something like your sort of about section. And again, when you're editing it, you can go through it and you can edit it whenever you want. So much like your career objective, summary is again a paragraph or two explaining about your journey or your plans or what best describes you, how well you are. I like to keep it small paragraphs. There are people who have actually expressed their entire career journey and again, their passion projects or what they're passionate about. If you just want to stick to your student life and your passion, for future career, you can write that as well. Here on your screen is just an example of Ellen's about section. She starts with where she has grown up, so giving a bit of her background on her personal life, and then also expressing on the last 10 years where all she's worked, and what she's proud of, where all she's she's worked at Fashion Week, on comedy festivals, she's been with an AFL club, so all that she's done. And then recently about her her time with Intern Match. She also speaks about what she is passionate about, and also outside of work, what finds her interesting. So I must say, if you are looking for inspiration to add about your about section, look at your resume first, what you have written in the career summary or career objective section. Build on that a little more, personalize it to the extent where you share something personal about yourself, like your passion, and look at other people and what they have written in their about section. I think there are a lot of creative ones in the marketing industry. I think the marketing professionals have a lot of creative, about sections mentioned. But again, depends if you feel like you're in a more formal setting, casual, summaries might not work. Then look at really, highly professional consultants available there. We will get a few tips from Preeti here too. If you do want to have a look at my career, I mean, my about section, have it a go. I've kept it a little casual, but I have also shared my background and what I am passionate about. So you can just grab examples from our profiles as well. Here is just another guide into what different paragraphs could look like for you. So first paragraph, of course, is who you are, what are you studying, and where are you studying. If you are also working, say, part-time, or, you worked before, add a bit about that self. Or if you're looking for jobs, you can straight away write in the first go itself the jobs that you're looking for. So that's like a starter on your profile. Then leading up to paragraph 2, where you can talk about the assignments you have done or the subjects you are studying and what is the area of focus. So that can be something that comes about too. Paragraph 3 could be any sort of work experience. It need not be like full-time work. It could be a part-time work at Macca's or at any other retail shop. It could be the internships you've done or any sort of roles you have done to support your sort of study or career journey. And lastly, a bit about yourself. So, any side hustles you have, or who are you as a person? What are the hobbies, or what you might do outside of when you're not studying or working? So, what can someone say about you, or find interesting? So, ideally, this could come up like that. I do remember when I had my LinkedIn profile as an international student, I had focused a lot on the assignments and subjects I was studying, because as a student, I really didn't have any local work experience to show. So when I didn't have that, I was focusing a lot on my assignments and saying that these are the subjects I have studied so far. And what have I found interesting, and how that relates to the interest I have in people management. So always relate your studies to how you would work as a professional, and then sort of create that. And guess what? We've got ChatGPT these days. You can use that platform to sort of build your summary, but again, do not copy paste it. Please personalize it. Use the right wordings that you want to from ChatGPT, and then formulate your own about section. That would be really helpful there. Um, Work experience, of course, is something that comes about in your LinkedIn profile. Again, very important section. Here is an example of how you've put through, reflect on your resume. If you feel that your resume is ready, you just need to copy paste it onto your LinkedIn. Write about the role, where you worked, and also a key pointers. Now, once you've written the key pointers, of course, you can just dot point it from your resume. But more importantly, on LinkedIn is adding your skills. So here in the image here, you can see skills where you've written stakeholder management, negotiation, influencing, marketing. These are the skills which are very important that you must have on your work experience, every work experience, because again, when recruiters are looking for candidates, or when you are looking for jobs, it is these skills that match you with potential jobs. And that's how the LinkedIn algorithm also works. It gives you jobs that matches your skill set. So it's important to work on skills under each work experience. That would be very helpful as well. Education, again, just adding your education, simply list your education provider, the university, and the degree that you've got and the year you maintained. So it need not be your master's or bachelor's, it could also be any other certifications you've done and you received. Say, for example, here there's Cert 3 and Cert 4. So if there's any other diploma that you've received as well, you can add under your education section. If you want to elaborate a little more on that, you can, because at the end of the day, more is better on LinkedIn. Less is better on resume because you need to be very succinct and brief on your resume. But on LinkedIn, go all out. Share as much as you can, because at the end of the day, we are just scrolling through your profile and seeing what your experience has been. So more, the better on LinkedIn. Also add your volunteering experience, any rewards you've achieved, any sort of achievements that you feel, you've had a great impact on. Again, you can go on to the profile section, edit again, and sort of add all the projects and volunteering experiences that you want to showcase here. Here it is an important aspect of requesting recommendations, to build credibility on LinkedIn profile and validate your skills. There's a great way to have either your colleagues or your fellow students, your classmates to endorse your skills. Say, for example, in your classroom, you had an assignment to do where you had taken up a leadership position, like you were captaining the entire project, and you were the team leader basically, and everyone else were working with your facilitation. So there you can maybe add that in your sort of projects or volunteering experience, and ask your your classmates to endorse it. They can endorse skills like team management, leadership skills, organizational skills, because as the team lead, you are organizing everyone, you're dividing what work each student needs to do, and also you are organizing the meetings that you need to have to discuss the progress of the project. So as a student, you can look at certain different skill sets that actually work in the work experience as well. And you can have all these skills without actually having to work too. Now, after discussing so much now, I would love to know more insights from Preeti here. So far, guys, we have walked through the headline, profile picture, your banner, as well as your work, education, and skill section, which is essentially translating from your resume to your LinkedIn. Preeti, from your experience so far, of course, I'd really like to know what are your thoughts on how you can how can students highlight their experiences, and as simple as language skills on their LinkedIn. What's the best practice here?
So let's start with the basics and the hygiene of having a LinkedIn account. Before we even get to how good we look on LinkedIn, let's first see how secure our LinkedIn profiles are. Because LinkedIn pretty much, if suppose you are posting something, I would assume it is you. I would assume it's not a hacked account. I would assume it is you, and whatever you post is your opinion. So the first thing I would recommend people to do is make sure, just like anything important you have two-factor authentication on your LinkedIn profile. So it has to be your profile. Make sure your email addresses are updated, because sometimes we have old university, email addresses, and they stop working after maybe 6 months, 1 year, and then you are at a loss. Then you are busy chasing LinkedIn. Hey, I want to update, my email address. Make sure your phone number is updated. So things are, if I want to get in touch with you as a recruiter, oh, that's my old phone number, I've forgotten about it. Don't do that.
Mm.
Email addresses, two factors, phone numbers, make sure it's updated. And you were so right about profile picture, because when I joined LinkedIn, I had a very serious profile picture, and one of my colleagues was really sweet and like, you're really polite, but you look so grumpy in the picture. So I belong to more of client support, so I have a lot of client interaction. So a grumpy picture was not the best idea. So they're like, even if it is a very simple picture, stand behind like a plain background, like you're sitting right now, and just click click a picture, have a basic smile, a simple t-shirt, make sure your name on the resume matches your profile. Some people love shortening up the name and stuff, which is great, but make sure your resume and the LinkedIn profile have the same name,
Mm.
whatever you want to go with. So it should not be a mismatch, because then I would start doubting, if is it the same person? Am I clicking on the wrong person?
Yeah.
It could. So there's so many small things involved.
Mm.
And I'll be honest, I wasn't a huge on LinkedIn till I started working at LinkedIn. Probably all the students are going to laugh, because I had 5 connections that included my husband. So you can imagine how terrible I was. So so now I have a good connection. And uh, again, to start with, one more thing. When we are looking for jobs at LinkedIn, we are looking at, oh, I'm going to get into this company, this job, great. If I don't get it, hell breaks loose. Don't do that. For me, I'll tell you how I landed up in LinkedIn. I applied for some other role at Adecco, for some contract role. They called me up and said, somebody from LinkedIn saw my profile on LinkedIn and asked them if I could interview with them. And it was not the role that I was looking for. It was a 1 year contract for a role they were trying to experiment with. So I said, why not? I would give it a go. Then we had some interviews, cleared it. Then they decided, oh, let's not continue the contract. We don't want this position. But they were like, hey, we really like you. Would you like to internally interview for a different role? So that's how I got in. So if you're looking for a full-time job, and if you get offered a part-time job or a contract, don't go ahead, in my opinion, and just say no. You never know how one job opens doors for you. So make sure you network yourself well. And if you have like a lot of international students here, there are some skills which you don't even realize you have.
Mm.
When you move from a different city or a different country to another big place, you become adaptable, you are culturally aware, you become a pro at problem solving. You don't even realize that these are the skills you build up when you move. In LinkedIn, we have some clients who are very specific about the language used. So our Japanese clients, they refuse to work with any online bots. They only want Japanese native speaker, otherwise they will not talk to us. So if you have any skills, like if you speak Korean, Japanese, Thai, or any other language, make sure it's on your LinkedIn profile. Like our Singapore office is a huge hub in which there are language speakers specifically. So there might be 200 people applying for the same job, but maybe they're just looking for a Korean speaker or a Japanese speaker. You have an edge. You don't even know about it.
Mm.
So take pride in your background, take pride in what you know. You never know what contracts come your way, and make sure you leverage and, take pride in where you come from. I have seen, uh, we've all been in that place. You're unsure about a new place, don't know how to fit in, trying to probably, just observe people and not being very confident. So my suggestion is, this is who I am. Go with the bang, do your best, and one step at a time. Don't get overwhelmed. It's a lot. It
Mm.
does happen. Culturally, when I moved from India to US, it was a huge shock.
Mm.
And from US to Australia was um, pretty different, but UK and Australia and India are kind of connected with history, so it was a bit more familiar.
Right.
But there are so many things which stand out,
Mm.
and you have to be resilient. Like, these are things you develop when you just move to different places, or just resilience, being self-aware. So if somebody gives you a feedback, don't get defensive. It's fine. When I go for interviews, or if I always ask for a feedback, even if I've been rejected. That's fine. I've been rejected, great. Can I have a feedback? Maybe there's something I could work on. Maybe not, but maybe yes.
Yeah.
Don't get defensive. At least hear them out. You
Mm.
may or may not process it immediately.
Mm.
There might be something. If 20 people are giving you the same feedback, it cannot be a wrong feedback. One or two people, you can think that maybe they are being judgmental, maybe they don't understand me correctly,
Yeah.
but you have to ask for a feedback, in my opinion.
Beautiful, amazing. No, thanks for sharing that, Preeti. I think some really valuable inputs here, especially for international students. and their movement. I think adding on to the, Preeti's input here, I would love to share that if coming from a recruitment background, international students always ask, do I don't have any work experience, what should I share? Or will my work experience in my home country hold any value here? I would say, and I can see Preeti nodding already, that it is 100% valuable.
Yes.
As she said, add it and express it and be proud of your background and, properly hone it. You can add it in your about section on your LinkedIn as well as in your career summary on your resume. Whenever you've been asked or you don't have any local work experience, you could always share that you've got a global work experience because
Yes.
if you worked in your home country, it could be a high possibility that locals here in Australia would not have worked in your home country. So they lack the global and foreign market experience that you have. And that must be shown in your profile or as a candidate as well. So be proud and confident about, your journey so far. And if ever you get questioned about, or you don't have work experience, directly, put us, share it with them that you've got a global work experience that the local workforce might not have.
Absolutely. And why not even share any volunteering that you've done? It doesn't have to be a paid thing. It could be unpaid. It could be a volunteer, something you do on the weekend. Maybe you teach something to somebody. Put it there. It doesn't hurt at all. And be very confident in asking your friends, your colleagues, your bosses for a recommendation. And no recommendation is, small or big. A recommendation is a recommendation. Somebody vouches that you are a professional, a thorough professional. So please ask for it. There's nothing wrong about it.
100% here again, if you want to endorse your skills, just go through it with your colleagues and all. Thank you, Preeti, that was
Welcome.
amazing. We'll get on to our next topic here. I know we've discussed the cultural backgrounds as well, so I'm just gonna skip this question here. Let's now get on to building a network on your LinkedIn and how you can connect with them and when and how to connect. Well, now Preeti just shared that she had only 5 connections, including her husband. So that's a great way to start, everyone. But of course, if you are an active job seeker or you're passionate about, say, a topic like I'm very passionate about working with students or and working in the education sector, helping with all these employability skills, I make sure that I'm following right people. I'm connected with those people in the market, and I'm also following their business profiles. So that way, just as LinkedIn, how you follow different profiles, sorry, as Instagram, how you're following different profiles, you can go on to LinkedIn and follow different businesses and communities and groups, so that when you're actually scrolling through LinkedIn, there are so many different companies doing so many different things, and then you come about to read them while you're scrolling. So I call it in LinkedIn scrolling a little for my professional brain when I want to switch off from my Instagram scrolling. And that can happen only when I'm following the right people and I'm connected with them and I see what they are going through in their life. So obviously start by your friends and family. Be sure to connect with your lecturers and teachers from your university. I think when I was studying, I made sure that I looked at their profiles, or if they're not on their profile, I requested them for their connection request, like personally, and then connect with them. It is always very helpful. Also connect with all your classmates. Having your professional network is very important. And then of course you move on to more other different people you meet. So people you listen to, that is on today's webinar. I hope you are sort of connected with myself and Preeti now that we shared our profile links. Make sure you connect with us. If you're meeting with people in in-person events, networking events and workshops, have your QR code ready, connect with them. Also, if you're scrolling through LinkedIn and you come across some recruiters or CEOs or founders of companies that you're really interested to know their journey, connect with them as well. You need not know them personally, but you can always, when you send a request, you have a a note where you can add and be like, hey, I've been following your business, keen to be part of your LinkedIn journey, thank you. And that's about it. Of course, there are going to be many people who don't accept your invite, and that's absolutely fine. But of course, make sure if you want to build your network and have that sort of net worth, do continue on building those profile. Now, quick connect is something that I really encourage all of us to use here when we are on in an event or some place where we want to network with people. It comes on your phone or any other portable device. You When you go onto the search bar, when you click on that, there is a QR code like that comes up. Click on that, and then your personal LinkedIn profile QR code comes up, and then you just have to show that to people. They scan it and you connect with them. So it's become a very easy way to do it rather than putting each other's name on LinkedIn or exchanging business cards, which we have moved on from a very long while. When you connect, add a note. I love reading notes, especially after my event or my webinar. If there's someone connecting with me, and if there is a note in there that, hey, I attended one of your events and it was, good to be with you on LinkedIn, that's about it. I get to know, okay, they've taken that initiation, they've taken that step to connect and add that note as well. So it always creates a great impact and an impression on the person that you've requested to connect from. You could go to Bill Gates as like that, and as simple as, I've seen your content, it sounds like you guys are doing a great job, would love to connect and see how the journey unfolds. As simple as that of a question, as a statement. So do use that. You could also follow companies, industry, and influential people there. I've sort of made my LinkedIn profile focused a lot on, recruitment, talent development, people management, entrepreneurship, because these are all my interests where it lies. So I'm following these people and companies to sort of, learn more about what they are doing, what their workplace looks like, what are people in different organizations, what are they doing. So it's good to follow them as well. But do remember, there are two sections on LinkedIn. One is where you connect with them, and one you follow them. So make sure that if you've clicked on the following button, you also go and request them for a connection, because that's where then they become part of your network and you continue the LinkedIn journey. Alrighty. Now, based on those, sort of topics so far, Preeti, what are the strategies for international students? What are the different ways they can go about connecting with industry leaders or alumni, especially if they don't understand local experience yet? How can they sort of get into the journey, practice of networking and connecting with people?
Thank you. No, I understand it can be daunting, especially in the beginning. So what you could do is, in the search bar of LinkedIn, say, suppose I want to become a marketing professional. So search marketing consultant or marketing manager, Melbourne or Sydney, whatever, search. You will find maybe 20 people. See if some of them are people you're interested in. Send them a friendly note, just like you mentioned. We also get like lots of people who want to talk to us because of, it could be LinkedIn, not because only it's me. So it always helps when somebody adds a note instead of being like a random blank uh, request in which you're not sure. So it's really sweet if you do. Your chances of even people accepting your request go higher.
Yeah.
If you send in a message, say, hey, just wanted to connect with you. Or so what I'm saying is, find people who have similar interests like marketing, computer science. It could be a particular type of program maybe you are learning if you're a programmer. So try and look for people in your city or in the country, or if you go on LinkedIn and look for Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram, you will see jobs under them, people under them, employees under them. If anybody, you find interesting or you think could be helpful for teaching you something or maybe introducing you to somebody, please reach out to them. There are so many virtual events. Join the Facebook, not Facebook, sorry, the LinkedIn groups that you have. So there could be different groups of people who are discussing a particular subject. It could be computer science, it could be marketing, it could be sales. The reason I'm saying is connect to as many people as possible because why? For example, tomorrow I want to interview at Netflix. I want to leave LinkedIn. So, do I know anybody at Netflix? Yes, I do. So I'm like, hey, there's a really sweet girl whom I know who worked with me at LinkedIn. She works. Hey, can you introduce me to the HR? So I will still have to give the interview and everything. But first, my colleague has worked with me. She can vouch for me. It will become an internal referral. I still have to clear my interview, but it does not hurt to get a request or somebody to introduce you to a person. So HR would definitely look at my resume first because I've been referred or I've been suggested or introduced by some internal member.
Right.
So you can get, nobody will say no to an introduction. Like if you guys ever come across a job at LinkedIn Melbourne and you reach out to me, hey Preeti, can you introduce me to the HR? Why would I ever say no? There is no reason for me to say no, right?
Yeah.
Get your introductions in place. So join the relevant groups like fun, fashion, everything is great. You want to do sales, you want to do marketing, you want to do law, you want to be a medical professional, physiotherapist, whatever. Join the relevant groups. See if there are any online activities happening. Sometimes they're in person, sometimes they're online. Whatever works with your schedule, work according to that. So there's so many online events. You don't even have to step out of your room. It's so convenient. Try and do that. And as you mentioned correctly, like follow the industry leaders as well as, so if the CEO of the company is not talking to me, great, he's a very busy man. What about a manager? He might be, you have 10 minutes to talk to me, right? Just see, is there an event that's coming up? All the big companies, you would see they would do events. It could be Anzac Day, it could be Family Day, this day, that day. Try and attend one of those events. You never know when, doors open up.
Absolutely. No, thanks, Preeti. That's very helpful to understand, to start your journey on LinkedIn because it is overwhelming. You're connecting with so many people. Who do I follow? Where should I go? So yeah, and of course here I feel what I've recognized as well, the Australians are very helpful. And especially in the workforce, if you do want to connect with someone or you want a referee, they are very happy to connect you with
Yes.
other professionals as well. So that's very interesting to know. And guys, again, just adding on to Preeti's example here as well. I'll share that towards the later one. It's okay. One more question here, Preeti. How can international students or graduates, for that matter, how can they maintain those meaningful connections, during their studies? One is, of course, sending them a note and connecting with them. But do you think there is a way they can maintain those relationships, and how close or distant can they be?
I think you cannot judge all relationships in the same way. Some would be very good for 3 months and then the person disappears organically. They have nothing bad in their, head, or they might be really busy. Some people. So, for example, if you posted you got a promotion, it does not hurt for me to spend 10 seconds and say, congratulations, how have you been? Hope things are good. Suppose I say you're open to work. That means somebody lost a job. Hey, is there anything I could do for you? Would you like me to introduce you to somebody? A small note, you never know, picks up somebody. Somebody shares that they lost a loved one. Some people do share a lot of personal stuff on just a 1 minute note. We all are busy. You cannot keep in touch with 500 of your connections. But if you see an update, the least you can do is just a one line, message personally or on the timeline, whatever you are comfortable with. Some people I don't even talk on the timeline. I talk to them personally in the message section because if I think it's a personal thing they don't want to share on the page itself, I'm like, hey, saw your update. Is everything okay? Can I introduce you to somebody? Is there something I can do for you? So just small things like that, making sure this you celebrate if anybody gets a promotion, anybody gets, an award, just a one-liner, just to keep in touch with people.
Mm.
So they would feel appreciated. They know we all get to see how many people see our posts, but how many people like or even bother commenting,
Mm.
that does make a difference over a period of time.
That's very interesting, Preeti, and thank you, for validating my thoughts as well on, just maintaining relationships through commenting and liking. There are a lot of people who are a little LinkedIn shy, I would say, and
Yes.
I'm one of them. I don't actively post a lot and, share what's happening today or tomorrow. But
I force
however,
myself to do it, I'll be honest. Like, I would not do it earlier, but now every time I get an award or something happens, I have like literally given myself a deadline that within 24 hours it needs to go on LinkedIn. Why? Because after a week you'll forget about it.
mm,
So, for example, if somebody is looking to hire me in, say, a different organization, they don't know me.
yeah.
And I won't remember when I speak to them, hey, I got this award and that award. But if
Mm,
everything is like a diary of
mm,
your professional, life on LinkedIn, they can say, oh, she got 3 awards, or okay, she got promoted from this role to that role in 3 years. Great. So they have an idea that I'm doing well in my role.
it's all documented.
It's all documented before you
Yeah.
forget about it. So give yourself like, okay, I have gotten promoted. If I got like some recognition, post it. It doesn't have to be a very fancy post. And you guys are so lucky that we now have chat GPT. If you're feeling lazy, make sure you do spell checks and make sure it doesn't look really fake, because sometimes chat GPT has that thing of overcomplicating simple things. So if you say work if you're studying at Victoria University and you really like a post that they shared, you can just reshare the post with maybe 2 lines from your end.
That's it. Yeah.
Or maybe you want to work for, say, Facebook, you want to work for, as I've mentioned, Netflix or Instagram or TikTok. My ex-boss left Australia, she went to TikTok. So it doesn't hurt following those companies. If you really like something they did, you can reshare it, shows your interest in the company. Make sure you follow the company so you know when a role is posted.
Yes. Very important.
Yeah.
Lovely. Thanks, Preeti. That's really good. I think commenting and sharing, reposting are really essentials of LinkedIn 101. Even if you don't want to be an active participant, as you said, and you're feeling a little shy, just by commenting on someone else's post or liking it, or saying congratulations, as you mentioned, Preeti, it keeps your profile on the top, and it's visible to other people in your network as well, and the LinkedIn algorithm is still doing the job for you without you being overly active like other members. So it's all about how you sort of navigate your profile as well. Just to keep in mind, guys, we are towards the end of the session. It's the last topic we are discussing, and I know it's almost one. If you do have to leave, please do. The recording would be available, but then I'd request you to stay for another 5 to 7 minutes. Searching about jobs and the job process on LinkedIn is a very important topic, so we won't take much time, but yeah, do stick around for another 5 to 7 minutes. All right. Here is one of my favorite things why I use LinkedIn is for job opportunities, using LinkedIn as a yet another job portal where there are various jobs advertised, there are updates from different companies, and sort of how you would like to find the opportunities. And as I said, I have customized my feed according to what my passion and my interests are in the industry. You could do the same, so that's where you're getting your information and content from. Sorry about that. What you can see on the screen here is the different options your LinkedIn profile can get. Of course, one having just as is the photo. The second is when you're open to work. And third, of course, if you are hiring or as a recruiter, you can see people as hiring. So you can click on their profile and see what role they are hiring for. When you put open to work, of course, your profile gets more visible to recruiters in the market. And you could also specify your job preferences, because in the data here, what we've seen is you get 40%, you're more likely to be noticed online if you put that off thing. Um, Amazing, Preeti, for that feedback as well. If you're doing LinkedIn courses, post it under your profile as well. Again, that's a great section to look at as well for free courses as well. There are many, many free courses available there and short and succinct as well. So, Preeti, here on your recommendations, how do you think students or graduates or job seekers in general, how can they use this platform to find, potential job opportunities and, grab those opportunities basically?
So we've been discussing the same thing, as you mentioned. Make sure your profile is complete. You are doing enough networking. And if you think, from my perspective, because when I started looking for jobs, pandemic had already started. So if you think you've applied for 3 jobs a day and you're exhausted and, oh, I've done so much, no. Like, I have at least 500 rejection emails in my inbox right now. So if you think you applied for 5 or 10 jobs, you're not doing your job enough. I'll be honest, it sounds very brutal, but the job market is tough, so you'll have to be tougher. And beyond, just to hold this thought, one very important thing that I should say, it's up to you guys to take it or not. Whenever I'm about to hire any one of you, me being a recruiter, fake recruiter right now, I will Google you.
Mm.
Make sure your social media is clean enough in terms of it should not be a hindrance in you getting hired. Because we've had cases in which I've heard in my office that, hey, we love this person. We are going from round 2 interview clear, round 3, and there's something, I don't know the details, but objectionable comes across in their profile. It could be anything because we don't know what kind of person is coming across who's about to recruit me. I'm not saying don't have fun, don't do the things which we already do as students growing up, but make sure that nothing should come in between you and your job, in my opinion. So if you have something which you are not sure about, maybe keep your profile, private for some time. I'm not saying don't post, it's your profile, it's all up to you. But just know one thing, people will Google you. And everything from all your open accounts, be it LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, I don't know how many accounts there are nowadays. Everything's going to show up. So clean up your social media in the best way possible so that it doesn't create any nuisance for any job hunt for you. That's something very important. And yes, you have to connect to people, as we were mentioning. Try and drop in your resumes. When I was looking for jobs and pandemic had started, it was Hays, Adecco, and which else? Even the small recruitment agencies on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Seek, like I'm saying Seek, even though I work for LinkedIn, sounds bad, but you have to put in your resume. You have to do the hard work. It does not even go for the interview. If you're not sure about how your interview skills are, what I have done in the past is I've gone for interviews virtually with companies where I'm not super interested in the job. Maybe if I get it, I'll see how it goes, just to improve your interviewing skills. Because I will tell you very honestly, we all know 2, 3 questions which are asked. Tell me something about yourself, and most of us still give a very horrible answer.
Yeah.
All of us. I'm guilty. We all do it. Tell me something about yourself. Why do you want this job? We all give bad answers or fake answers, the ones that ChatGPT tells us. And you've learned those lines somehow and you're just regurgitating, and the recruiter knows you don't mean it. So probably we can all work on our interview skills. Do it with a friend. Do it. Go for an interview for a job which you are not, so obsessed about, just so that you can improve your skills. You get rejected, it's fine, but at least you gave it a try.
Absolutely. Thanks, Preeti.
You're
I
welcome.
think to add on that, I would say with LinkedIn specifically, if you think that your resume is ready and your profile is completed with all the information, there is an easy apply button. If you think that there's enough information on your resume, you can just click on easy apply and share all, everything you want to. And if you want to go a step ahead, is connecting with the job poster, because LinkedIn gives you the opportunity to see who has actually posted that job. It could either be the hiring manager, or it could be the person that you're going to work with, or also the HR of the company. So having to go through their profile and saying, okay, this person has advertised this job, let me connect with them, let me message them that, hey, I've applied for this job through your business account, I'm looking forward to a chance or an opportunity. So going that one step ahead is something that LinkedIn gives you. And it's a I think a really great platform for that specific area as well. Last question here, guys. Thank you all for sticking in. But Preeti, your specific tips and pro tips on how a student or say a participant on LinkedIn, how can they increase their visibility to recruiters in Australia?
You have to, because the way all the social media algorithms work, you have to post more often.
Mm,
If I'm not saying we all are authors and we will come across with interesting content every day, but if you're joining the correct groups, if we will all come across really interesting articles. So even if you are resharing, reposting, or replying to people who posted something really wonderful, so the algorithm constantly makes sure that your profile is more active. So you don't have to be proactively the person who's tweeting, and because we are not the CEOs here who are you making big business decisions. But if something's come up, like if you joined a women's group or a tech group, or there's a new program that's come up, or you've learned something, just resharing it, or just interacting with the same post. Don't even have to reshare all the time. Maybe once or twice a week you could reshare something. If you've learned a new skill, or if you came across any article outside. So these things really help. And also, when you have applied for a job and your interview is over, do not forget to send a thank you note to the person who's interviewed you. Goes a long way.
a follow-up
And
message, email.
absolutely. Because if you have even been rejected, they might remember you as a nice person, and they might reach out to you after 3 months for a different role
Yeah,
because they remembered you. You are in their inbox.
perfect. Amazing. Yeah, these are all job strategies 101,
Yeah.
guys. So, I mean, I hope all this is helpful for you in understanding what can help you stand out in the process as well. So thank you, Preeti, for sharing
Okay.
that. Guys, I'm not able to access the Q&A. Preeti, are you able to see the Q&A section?
No, I could only see my message there.
Right.
Let me
I've
see.
just opened up the chat section for everyone. If you've got questions, you can post it there, guys. While I just wrap up the session, we're almost towards the end. You can use the chat function. If not, I'm not able to use the Q&A, but have it a go in the chat. Let me see. Oh yeah, perfect. I can see someone has put in a message on the chat. So you can all access the chat function, guys. Sure, Prachi, I'll go back to our LinkedIn profiles again and share it with you. But just as an ending note, guys, if you've got questions, now is the time for you to put it in the chat function. Preeti and I would be more than happy to help you here. Just from a recap on the webinar, I think we've gone through all the aspects of LinkedIn, from getting ready, updating your information, ensuring there's safety through the two-factor authentication, and also, having a beautiful, a very appropriate, professional-looking profile picture, which you can get in our next event, and also going up and beyond in your job application process, and helping you stand out. um there are a few questions coming in, and I will just start asking that. Just before that, guys, this is the next event that's coming up, which is the Confident Communicator. I love this session. We've done this previously, I think in April we did it, and I think it was a huge success for everyone who joined it. We do a lot of activities, it's really experiential. Anyone who comes in, we sort of aim to help them improve their communication and their confidence. So, how confidently and comfortably you can sort of present yourself and talk and use less of these hands the way I'm doing. So all this would be a sort of activity based learning, and I think it's one of the fun events I've got. I will be hosting it for you all, but also we'll have three amazing speakers, and industry experts. They anyway do amazing in their field of work, but they'll be there next week to help you with any questions and support and advice you've got. So the QR link is mentioned there. Please do register for that. Um, and of course, if you can't scan the QR code, we'll anyway email you. We'll have a social media updating all that, so you can register from there. But yeah, it's going to be a fun event. All right, now coming back to the Q&A, Preeti, if you'd like to answer, I think you can look at the chat box if you'd want to. I'll answer the recording. Yes, Bennett, you will receive the recording, say by tomorrow this time. We'll have everything collated to you and it will be sent to an email. If you've registered, we have your email ID. But yeah, over to you, Preeti, if you'd like to answer the last two questions here.
What is the difference between follow and connect on LinkedIn? Follow is something you would do. Follow, okay, how do I explain this? So you can follow Mark Zuckerberg, you could follow Elon Musk. These are celebrities. They may or may not care to add you to their friend list. But if you connect with somebody, you're pretty much in their friend list. If I can simplify in the easiest terms, you can drop them a private message. It's more likely that a regular manager or a recruitment agent or somebody even up to the middle management might, let you be in their friend list or their uh, connection list. But a lot of times you will see that celebrities or big, huge influencers, you cannot, there's a limit to how many people you can be connected to. So you might be able to only follow them. You can see where they're going, what they're doing. Are they speaking somewhere, but not really in the friend list or the connection list. So it could differ from people to people. So another one is I'm not active on social media at all other than LinkedIn. Do you think that's a red flag as someone? That's not a red flag at all because my partner is from the tech industry. He is pretty much an introvert. Uh, you could be just posting on LinkedIn, and there are so many good communities uh, which are absolutely related to tech. So you do not have to go ahead and have an Instagram and a Facebook, and it's up to you. It's your personal life. Just the reason I was mentioning social media is just to make sure that if you have anything posted anywhere, make sure nothing goes against you. That's all. If you don't have 5 social media accounts, that's absolutely fine.
Awesome. There's also another question about easy apply and does it really work well, or they must directly go and connect, apply on the websites.
No, easy apply is good enough. So I don't want to get into the whole jargon of how people post jobs because some people post it directly and the applicants come directly to LinkedIn. Some people will ask you to click on a link and it'll go to their personal website so that the jobs and the applicants go there. It's just a different way of collecting applicants. Easy apply is good enough. Like this, if you have an option of easy apply, just go for it. No problem.
Awesome. Thank you, Preeti.
You're welcome.
All of you all here, I've again shared the slides for myself and for Preeti here. Do connect with us on LinkedIn. And yeah, I think it was a wonderful experience. Preeti, I've learned so much from you and also your thoughts and, also validating all the learnings we've had so far on LinkedIn. So I really thank you so much for coming in today and sharing your valuable inputs and your journey.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, Preeti. And everyone, thank you all for joining in today. The recording would be available in a day's time. We'll have all this ready for you. And I really do look forward to seeing you all in our next event in person. Of course, Preeti, you're more than welcome to join us and meet us in
Thank
person.
you.
Would love for that. And all of you, if you'd want to meet me in person and sort of continue this conversation on LinkedIn, on resumes, on communication and confidence, I'll see you all in our next week's session. So do remember to sign up there. All right. Have a great afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Preeti, once again.
You're very welcome. Have a nice day, everybody.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.